Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my first official video on this channel. Well, technically it's not the first, but first official video for this series we'll be doing, where we will be reviewing and ranking the songs of every single Iron Maiden album. And today we will start with none other than the debut, Iron Maiden. Now, this album came out April 14th, 1980, and today this album does not include it, but we will be including the song Sanctuary, which was on the original release in North America, and also the 1998 remaster of the album. But today we will be reviewing this album, one of the most important debut albums in heavy metal history. I think it really was very influential at the time, pretty groundbreaking in terms of sound and everything. Yeah, let's get into it. Of course, as a lot of you know, before we get started, Paul Di'Anno is the vocalist on these albums, and as of 2 days ago, as I'm recording this video, Paul Di'Anno has unfortunately passed away. I'd like to send my condolences to his family and the band. We all are very sad about his passing. He was a rock legend and really helped boost Maiden into the popular mainstream of metal, and really it was a big part of getting them where they are today. And so all love goes to his family. In the track listing, we have the performers on the album. On lead vocals, we have Paul Di'Anno. On bass and backing vocals, Steve Harris. Guitar and backing vocals, Dennis Stratton. Guitar, Dave Murray, and drums, Clive Burr. And of course, Stratton would end up leaving after this first album, but Clive would be in here until after Number of the Beast, when Nico would come in. So it's a really strong lineup for the first album. Of course, Di'Anno leaves after Killers, but for the original Maiden album, it's very strong, and they have some great performances.
First off, for just a sec, I want to talk about this album cover, because boy, is this album cover iconic. Really, you see this is kind of the face of Iron Maiden now. Other than Number of the Beast, I would say this is the most iconic album cover they have, and it was the first one, so it really started everything. This album cover is designed by Derek Riggs, who ended up doing all the 80s albums, I believe, and somewhat into the 90s, and he did a fantastic job on all their album covers, and especially this one. Apparently it was just a painting that he had and was just waiting for someone to use it, and Maiden came along and they're like, yeah, that's awesome, let's use it for our album. So they decided to use it, but it's honestly an awesome cover art, and I think it's great. But with that out of the way, let's get into the track listing. First song, Prowler. I mean, what it really is there to say? I mean, everyone knows this song, everyone loves this song. It's one of the greatest opening songs of a band in heavy metal history. I mean, the song's fantastic with that opening riff. Wow, 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 wow. I mean, like, come on, that's so awesome. It's so awesome. And honestly, I think most people's main problem with this song is that the vocals are not very good. I mean, they're kind of creepy, kind of very sexist, but you know what? It's whatever. It's fun, right? If I could describe Maiden's music in one word, it would be fun. And this song is very fun. The solo is great. The guitar work on the song is awesome. Really, you can really hear the band working together. And I think this is one of the first songs they ever wrote. I know for a fact it was on the Soundhouse tapes, I think in 77 or 78, when Iron Maiden was just starting and they were going through members left and right. Prowler was one of the first songs they ever wrote, and they brought it to the radio station and be like, can you play this? And then they played it, and the guy operating the radio station is like, dude, this is freaking awesome. And I believe it was Prowler that he heard, and he's like, okay, these guys are legit. So it really is quite a song to make a first impression. They really made an impression with this first song on the album, and they did a fantastic job. I'm going to include Sanctuary because I like that song. You know, this is the single with Sanctuary. It has a live version of Drifter. This came out in 1980, so of course, as some of you know, Drifter is on the album Killers, which came out in 1981. But they had written it before, and they performed it live, and they put it on the back of the Sanctuary single. Personally, I have listened to Sanctuary a lot less than any of these other songs, because honestly, I've heard this album dozens and dozens of times. It's very much a comfort album for me. I'll just turn it on and I know every minute of every song. It's just great. Sanctuary since I mostly listen to either this or listen to it on Spotify, this isn't usually on there. It's not usually available. And while I do think it's a great song, the riff is awesome. The chorus I'm a little iffy on, but honestly, it fits the vibe of the album perfectly. And honestly, I think the album flow works better when Sanctuary's on there, like in the 1998 remaster version of the album, because I think it works better when Prowler goes right into Sanctuary instead of Remember Tomorrow. And while Remember Tomorrow is a fantastic song, I think it's better than this. Um, I feel like albums work better when there's two fast songs, especially in this vibe they're going for, when there's two fast songs right before Remember Tomorrow, or right before it goes into a slow intro. I think it works better when there's two. So Sanctuary, it's awesome. Great riff, great solos. I think it's cool how the riff starts out like kind of muted, and then when everything kicks in, it goes full on metal. So yeah, I think Sanctuary is a great song. I do think it helps the flow of the album. I wish it was on the normal album. I think I would like it more because I would have heard it a lot more. But it's definitely the song I know the least, but it's also still a great song. I mean, really, you cannot go wrong with any songs on these albums. They're all great. For 3, we have Remember Tomorrow. Remember Tomorrow is a Harris Diano song. It starts out slow, starts out really melodic. Paul Diano has a fantastic vocal performance on the song. It's really, really good, especially when it gets into like the heavier parts with the chorus. He just wails over the guitars, and man, he sounds great. And especially when it gets to the breakdown, when it gets really fast, all the solos, after it comes back and it gets heavy again. Diano has a fantastic vocal performance. I think this is one of these songs with his best vocal performance. And honestly, I think it's a fantastic song. Really, you cannot go wrong with Remember Tomorrow. It's really good. It starts as a ballad, and then it very quickly goes very heavy, and it's awesome. On number 4, we have Running Free. This is also a Harris Diano song. This was the lead single to the album, I believe. Honestly, I think it's great. It's a nice solid rocker is what I would call it. A very consistent beat. Diano gets to go, his vocals go very smoothly over all the beat. The guitars are awesome. Like in the middle section, like they're awesome. The guitars on this whole album are fantastic, especially when they're dueling, and Murray and Stratton actually ended up working very well together on this album. Nothing compared to what he would end up doing with Adrian Smith, but we'll get into that when it comes. But yeah, Dennis Stratton and Dave Murray have fantastic guitar performances on this entire album, but specifically this whole song. The bass especially is very prominent on the song. It's very solid with the drum beat. They both keep each other very consistent and in time. Honestly, we have Phantom of the Opera. This song ends side 1 of the album, and boy, does it end it well. This song is just over 7 minutes, and it does not waste a single second of that time. From the very intense opening riff to the solos in the middle, the breakdown, when it leaves the bass, when everything cuts out and it's just the bass playing, and then the guitars start harmonizing over it. Oh, it's so good. You know exactly the part I'm talking about. It's fantastic. This whole song is really good. There's fantastic solos throughout it. I love how the vocal melody follows the guitar in that kind of like frantic, like it fits the vibe of what the theme is so perfectly. The guitar line feels super frantic. The vocals feel like he's almost out of breath, like he's running from this Phantom of the Opera, which I believe is based on the book. And there's also a movie which I believe came out in 1925 that has inspiration, but I know that was also based on the book. So awesome subject matter, awesome song. 7 minutes, and it does not waste a single second. It is a perfect teller of what Maiden would become in the future with all their epic songs like Rime of the Ancient Mariner, To Tame the Land, even Hallowed Be Thy Name, which is 2 years after this came out. They really showed that they can make epics and they can make good songs that are long and not waste a single second of it. Phantom of the Opera, fantastic song. Then we have the first song on side 2, which is Transylvania, and this song is a instrumental. And honestly, I'll say it right now, this is my favorite instrumental that Iron Maiden has ever done. It's awesome. Starts out really creepy. This song perfectly fits the vibe of Transylvania. It sounds like vampires. It sounds like creepy castles, dark. Like it gives all those vibes. And the guitar work in this song is insane. Guitar complements the bass perfectly. The drums are awesome. Clive Bird does a fantastic job on this entire album. His drums are really, really good. Especially in this song, it's really frantic. It's all over the place. But really, the star of this song is the guitars. They're just wailing all over the place. Gives Paul a break on this song. There's no vocals, but yeah, the guitars are fantastic. Dave Murray and Dennis Stratton really they played their hearts out for this song, especially. This song, really awesome. I've tried learning it on guitar. I play drums and guitar. I've tried learning it on guitar. It's very, very difficult. But man, it does sound freaking awesome. 7, Strange World. This song is honestly, I think, one of the most underrated songs on the album. One of the most underrated Maiden songs, like, at all. I think this song is fantastic. It starts really slow. It's very moody and ethereal almost. It's very atmospheric, and the guitar just wails over this kind of mood it creates in the background. There's like this soundscape, and the guitar just soars. The solos in this song are fantastic, and Di'Anno's vocals are awesome. He's super good, super emotional delivery on his vocal lines. Yeah, the song is atmospheric. It's beautiful. The guitar solos are just fantastic. They do an awesome job, and I think it's one of the most underrated songs. 8, Charlotte the Harlot. And a lot of people really, really love this song. I personally wouldn't say it's one of my favorites on the album, but I think it's great. Every song on this album is fantastic. To the kind of frantic intro to the middle section is really the best part, in my opinion. The middle section is awesome when it gets slower and then it picks up again. The range that this song goes through is freaking awesome. I think it's great. Great vocal performance. The one problem I have is that the lyrics are not very good. I think you'll find out a theme in this album that a couple of songs have lyrics that are just not very good. And honestly, that's okay. Like, it's just, we're gonna have fun, and this album's a lot of fun. And the lyrics lyrics are not something I pay attention to primarily, especially with this album. Lyrics are not as important when you got the musicianship of these guys. It's just awesome. Another great song, Charlotte the Harlot. The closer of the album, the most iconic song on this album, Iron Maiden. You got the self-titled song on the self-titled album of the band, and boy, does it does not disappoint. One of the most iconic riffs in metal history, in my opinion. I mean, you don't need me to sing it, everybody knows it. There's a reason this is a live staple. I mean, it usually closes the main set for their shows. This song does. Di'Anno, fantastic vocal performance on the song. Really good chorus, really, really catchy chorus. Sing-alongable chorus. It's an anthem, and it's so much better live. I know a lot of people say that they're sick of hearing it. I don't. I think it's great. I've seen them twice now. I know I'm young. Haven't been there to experience them for that long, but yeah, I mean, this song's awesome. It's when it's live, especially. The guitars, that riff is really cool. It's like weird out of time riff, and then when it's both of them and they're dueling the riff, it's awesome. And then how it slows, and there's this little like bass section, bass solo. Steve Harris kills it. On bass, this entire album, the bass is awesome. I know Steve Harris complains a lot about the mixing and how he doesn't think it's very good. I personally don't have any problem with it, but I also am not a huge stickler on production, so I don't really care that much usually. But I love the production, the fact that they made the bass so prominent, and they made the bass, it's like driving every single song, driving the beat, always on top of the time. So for that much, I think it's awesome. The bass sounds awesome on this album and this song as well. Yeah, the guitars are awesome. The drums are great. Fast. Clive Burr nails it. Everyone's on point this entire album. They're fantastic musicians, and clearly throughout their career they have demonstrated that they can really, really play. Alright guys, that's my review on the album Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden. One of the most important debut albums in metal history, I think, and I don't think that's even debatable at all. Really one of the best debut albums, in my opinion, in metal history. I think, all things considered, I would probably give this album an 8 out of 10. In terms of Maiden's discography, comparing it to their other albums, I would say 8 out of 10. If we were comparing it to just every metal album, I would give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, this album's really, really good. Really strong, especially for a debut. But comparing it to Maiden's other albums, I think 8 out of 10 is perfectly suiting. It really is a great album. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what what's your favorite song on this album? How would you rank the songs? That's actually what I'm gonna be doing in the next video. I'll be ranking every song on this album, and that's what I'll be doing until we finish all the Maiden albums, is reviewing it and then ranking the songs. So I specifically tried not to go too deep in on what my specifications were for each song on this, because in the next video I will be ranking every song on this album. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you stay till the series. I'll be doing a ton of Maiden videos, of course, till I finish the albums, and then a bunch of random Maiden videos in between. Right now, we're winter times for Maiden, baby. So we're gonna be focusing on that for a while. I hope I can stay consistent with the uploads. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I mean, we'll try our best. I mean, yeah, up the irons. Thanks for watching, baby.